Kaylie, just to get things started, let's start with a positive note. Just you made your regular season debut today. How are you feeling after that game?
Excited to get the start. Really grateful for the opportunity. It's the start, honestly. It's just the start, so I'm feeling good about that.
All right, we'll go to Austin.
Kaylie, you got your first taste of NWSL experience kind of last year in the Challenge Cup against Gotham, and now, funny enough, you get your first regular league appearance against Gotham. Going from that experience last year to this year, how much kind of changed for you just in terms of the way you've kind of gone about learning and the process of kind of working your way up to this moment?
Yeah, good question. To me, like, I came in this year and it felt different than any other year because there was, I think, in the 2.5-ish years I was here before, there wasn't a lot of expectation that I put on myself. A lot of it was coming in, learning how to be a pro at the end of the day, which has been a great process, and I had a lot of good people around me to help me. But this was the year that I came in and I was like, I expect more from myself, and with expectation leads to, like, you put yourself out for disappointment. So it's been like a cool process to, like, actually feel that, and you feel the highs and the lows, but the highs are great, so it's worth it.
What release?
Can you talk a little bit about, after playing such a well game, how you changed gears towards the penalty facing the PK?
I mean, a PK is honestly, like, you just got to stay locked in. I think, like, a game is chaotic and a PK is a chance to, like, take a breath, and you don't really, especially after like 10 minutes of checking VAR, you don't really have your adrenaline anymore. So it's like, how do you get yourself back in that moment to perform and do one action. So it's a tough job as a goalkeeper, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, you trust yourself and you do what you can. Yeah.
Go to Sean.
Obviously, there was your teammates didn't feel like it was a penalty, and then you had the long delay. Can you talk about, after giving up that goal, how your team responded to the disappointment of giving up a goal in that way?
I mean, it sucks, honestly, like, with the timing of the goal and the time that it took to decide it was going to be a PK, it obviously affects the game. So I think, like, we had Carrie Bello screaming at the top at half field, like, we have time, like, let's go. They obviously had time to score a second goal, so did we. And I think that's the mentality that we need to have when we go into those moments. And I think it's hard to defend for as long as we did, and then get on our horse and be like, we have this moment to go and score. So that's the mentality that we want, and that that we are trying to instill everywhere.
Austin.
Just talking to Caitlin a little bit ago, and her kind of responses about being a young center back playing in this league. Obviously, you're a young goalkeeper playing in this league, and your constant communication with your center backs in positioning and everything. How has that been, just with not only with Caitlin but with Emily, in terms of kind of learning each other's tendencies and where you want them to be as a goalkeeper?
A lot of talking, a lot of, like, good relationships off the field and on the field. You said it, we're all young. But I think that, like, with that, like, there's no ego, honestly. It's, like, a lot of, like, I'm going to lean on you, you're going to lean on me. We're going to lean on our great outside backs that we have that have experience. It's just, like, a lot of listening and learning, and it's a really cool environment to be in, I think, because, like, we're all developing so quickly, and we're doing it together. So, like, we're becoming pros together in a sense, and, like, we're there, honestly. I'm, like, so happy with the back line, and especially tonight, like, they saved me in so many moments. So I'm really appreciative, and, like, good relationships.
Ben, back to Elise.
Piggybacking a little bit on that question, can you talk a little bit about how you were able to see the game and how you were able to manage the line to organize it?
Obviously, I mean, honestly, like, I think that was an area where we could have done better. I think managing How we defended, I think, was great. I think we read the game plan of Gotham pretty well, and it was pretty obvious what was going to happen. And we knew that we had to like be constantly switched on to move our line up and down, to be aware of like the long ball coming in. Like we did our homework on it, and I think we were well prepared going into it, so it made it easier. But when we talk about like managing the actual game, I think there's managing defending, and then there's managing how we build and how we control the game. And that's an area where, like, I think we have to grow from myself, and then from the confidence to just, like, own the moment and own the game when we have control. Because I think defensively, like, we manage those moments so well because everyone's learning and everyone's, like, on the same page.
Last one with Austin.
Just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on like the week coming into this moment. Obviously, kind of the process of learning that you're going to be starting. How does that kind of change the mentality of what you do in training, how you kind of prepare for games versus, typical game days?
Not much, honestly. I think like the past 2 weeks coming off of, I had an injury in preseason, and I think since that moment coming back, like to me, every moment, like I'm fighting for a chance. So like to me, every training session is like, has to be like a match day. So when I prepare, that's what I'm doing every day, and it's exhausting. And like I was saying before, it's like, it's putting yourself out there to be disappointed every day. But that's like what sports is. Like you have to kind of give everything, especially at this point in my career. Maybe you're a little bit older, you have a little bit more, like you can manage a little bit, but like this point in my career, like I'm treating every day like I'm going out to get it. So yeah, I didn't know I was going to be starting until like pretty recently before the game. So I had felt great. It was good timing because I had been going after it, I think, in training. So yeah, it was good.